The thing that I hate most about photography is editing the photos. It takes way too long, it's too difficult, seems like a lifetime to learn the skills, and especially when it comes to blemish removal for portraits, you're circling little dots and removing them and moving things around. It just takes, one photo to edit can take 30 minutes at a time. A couple of months ago, I did a video on Luminar Neo. Honestly, I've used it on every single thumbnail that I've uploaded to this channel and every single post that I've made on Instagram, and really, I've used that software a whole lot. I'm super excited about Aperty, which is the sponsor of this video. Now, Skylum software is behind Aperty, and this is a collaboration with Julia Trotti, who's a YouTuber portrait photographer. And this is basically a cheat code for retouching portraits. This is gonna make your life so much easier if you are a portrait photographer, wedding photographer. I'm just gonna show you guys the software, show you what it can do. Honestly, I played with it for 2 to 3 minutes and I was instantly sold. So this may be for you, this may not be for you. And if it's not for you, then it's kind of cool just to see what AI is capable of doing and just how much easier photo editing is getting because of programs such as this one. So let's jump into it. I'm going to open up Aperty right here, and I don't have any folders loaded, so it says here we can drag and drop some files, and we are going to do that right here. Now, recently I did a review video on this Viltrox 135 f1.8, and this is one of the best budget-friendly portrait lenses for your full-frame Sony camera. So I'm just going to drag in my sample folder from that video, and we'll comb through and pick out some photos and see what we can do. Now, the menu is pretty simplified. None of it is really labeled until you hover over it, but over on the very right, there are a couple of menu items. The first thing here, you'll see some toggle switches. So this is where you can adjust your color temperature, you can adjust your tint, exposure, contrast, you can do color curves, black and white, sharpness, detail, structure, noise reduction. So all this is good stuff, and some of it mimics what you can see and use in Luminar Neo. But what we are most interested in is this little retouch, which has a little face here. And so we'll go in here, and this is really the selling point of all of it. It's this blemish removal tool. Now I'm gonna zoom into my wife's face, and you can see she has some blemishes there. Now, what happens if I move this slider all the way to 100%? Well, it takes a couple seconds here. AI is doing its magic, and voila. This is honestly incredible what it is doing, because normally when you are going in and you're manually removing little spots, nothing's perfect. You kind of lose a little bit of the texture of the skin. But here you can see I can move this slider, and it is absolutely removing all of those little spots and acne and red dots, all of it. And it's still retaining the texture of the skin. You can remove freckles here if you wanted to. If my wife had any, you can improve your details. You can also go into the face skin menu and you could smooth the skin a little bit. You can highlight details. You can brighten it a little bit. You can remove shine if you wanted to. And these are all small changes, but when you take a look at it, let me see if I can show you guys the before and after here. Before, after. Before, after. The thing that I like about this software is that it's pretty natural looking. There's a lot of times where you make some edits and you're like, this just doesn't look good. This retains a lot of those details. It's not like it's making your whole thing look like some sort of fake animation or avatar. It still looks like the same person. It's just removing those temporary marks on your face. If you wanted to, you could copy those edits and you could paste them onto any number of other photos throughout, but let me see if we can find another one. So here's a pretty bad one. This is indoors, kind of not great lighting for my wife, and you could see a lot of blemishes. If I was to post this on social media or deliver these photos to a client, obviously we'd want to touch these up. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna move this slider. Let's go up to, I don't know, we'll do 70 again. And look at that. In a matter of a couple of seconds, it's done. And here, I'll zoom in. This is 100%. Here's the little before and after slider. So after, before. Just look at that. All of the texture of the skin, I don't know how this is happening, because All the texture of the skin is still there. It's not like you see little circles like you would normally see in Photoshop or Lightroom or something like that, where you have to feather it in. And man, how much easier is this? And I can go a little bit further even, and I can go and smooth the skin a little bit. What I want to do here is remove some of the shine as well. And all this is done by AI behind the scenes. I don't know how it's done. It's all done locally. It's not like it's sending this image up to the cloud and then it's coming back down. All of these changes are pretty quick, almost instantaneous within a couple of seconds. Let me brighten it up a little bit, give her some more light. Dark circles, she doesn't really have any. Skin smoothing, we already have that. The other cool thing about this is you can modify some of the eyes, similar to what you see with Luminar Neo. So you can do iris flares, which are awesome. They kind of just exaggerate the eyes a little bit. If you have a subject with red eyes, you can go in and remove the redness. You can whiten the eyes, and then you can also enhance the eyes. It's a little bit on the kind of unrealistic side now. And then you can go into mouth as well. You can whiten teeth. You can brighten the mouth. You can even go in as far as to add makeup. So let's say we wanted to add some more makeup to Genesis' cheeks. I mean, look at that. This is AI. This is, let's see. If that's not incredible, I don't know what is. So there's the before, there's the after. I mean, the eyes are looking a little maybe too fake. And some of the skin and the makeup might be a little bit too far. So here's another portrait, and I'll zoom in and do the same treatment. So blemish removal, we'll crank it up to, let's try 60. And I mean, look at that. It's just so quick, so easy. You could still see it's still natural skin. It's not like it's fake or anything, but all of those little spots that were there that were kind of distracting, not pleasing, are gone. Even the little redness from her wearing her glasses, that redness is gone. That is pretty incredible. And if I wanted to go in and do a little bit more, I can certainly do that. I can brighten the face a little bit. I can remove some of the shine, iris visibility, iris flare. So bring out some of the blues. Eye whitening, just a touch. Eye enhancement. And there's no teeth really to worry about here. You can even enhance some eyebrows here, so if you want to make them super dark, check that out. A little bit too much maybe. And then if you want to do some lips, you can do lipstick. So a little bit redder, you can crank that up. Look at that. That is just how quick and easy this is. And take a look at this one again. Here's the before. Here's the after. We just brightened up the face a little bit, got rid of all those little blemishes, and you are on your way. Enhance the eyes a little bit. I mean, it's just so easy, so intuitive. Now, the great thing about this software is that you can use it as a plugin for Lightroom or Photoshop, I believe. And so if you want to go through and cull all your images, make some fine-tune adjustments in Lightroom, then throw them into Aperty and then make your blemish removals, enhancements, and then throw them back into Lightroom. It's very simple and easy and straightforward to do that with pretty good integration. Let's do one more just for fun, because this is, honestly, it is kind of fun to mess around and play with. I showed my wife a couple of these, actually not a couple. I showed her one picture before and after, and she was just shocked. She's like, you need to put this on every single photo that you take of me. So blemish removal, I mean, within a couple of seconds, it's gone. So that alone, I mean, that just saves you so much time. Imagine having to go in and manually remove every little spot and smooth it all out. Here, one little cursor, one button click basically, and you're getting near perfect, flawless results, and you don't have to worry about it. I mean, that looks really good. Before, after, before, after. And you can fine tune this. I mean, some people are going to want a little bit more of a natural look. If you have multiple people in your picture, for example, you might not want to apply it across the board. There was an example. Let me see if I can pull one up. I'm gonna try adding one more photo here. This is a picture with obviously two people in it. So this is Janessa and her dad. And I wanted to see if this software works on two people at once. So we're gonna zoom in. And so he has a couple of small little blemishes here, slightly out of focus. It's on this eye, but it's fine. But let's see what happens. Obviously the software you can see here recognizes there are two faces, and you can actually select just individual, or you want to select both. And I'm going to select both of them. Crank up blemish removal to 70, and that's it. That was so quick. Look at that. Okay, so pay attention to this red dot here, this little zit on his forehead, and it's gone. There, and it's gone. There, and it's gone. And it doesn't remove kind of the dark spots, things that are permanent on your face, which is good. It just removes those temporary spots. There's a couple extra things that I want to show you guys real quick. So there's obviously more menu items on the right. So there's face reshape, so you can slim someone's face if you wanted to. You can modify their eyes. I mean, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. Give people a nose job. You can modify the mouth, body, all of that fun stuff. I'm not gonna mess with it here, but all those options are there. The next little icon is the creative one, and this one has a couple of more things from Luminar Neo. In particular, you'll see this light control. So you can add a light source and you can show it on your canvas. So if you wanted to pretend like you had a studio light on your shoot, you could put the little dot here. You can crank the amount, and I mean, it is insane because you have shadow cast. I mean, obviously that's a little bit too bright, but if you wanted to just add a little bit of it, you could see AI is somehow calculating all this, and the shadows. I mean, if the light comes from this side, you could see there's shadow on the face, shadow on this side. It is truly incredible. You could change the hue of the light, saturation, the depth, how far everything goes, obviously the amount of the light. There's just so much flexibility in what you can do. You can even do this as kind of a full frontal flash if you wanted to do kind of a more vintagey inspired look. If you go into this top menu here, there's a whole section under Creative by Julia Trotti where you can go in and click on some of these. And I think she worked on these LUTs and presets all on her own. So if you don't want to go through and touch up anything, you just want to throw it in and throw a LUT on it or throw some sort of style on it. Vintage film, there you go. Throw it on and you're done. Off to the printers. Enchanted Mist, interesting. Retro style, lifestyle, cinematic. I mean, it gets urban chill. Here we go. And so retouching, the same thing. You can go in and if you want to retouch the way that Julia Trotti retouches, you can just click on Flawless Skin. And in theory, it will apply everything, and it's applying the preset down here. And that's it. And you can adjust all of these and make them as intense or not intense as you prefer. So there's a lot of flexibility here. It's not just that you are getting, one thing that this program can do. This can function just like you would use Lightroom, but you can also use Lightroom and this hand in hand cohesively. So pretty great software. I have been impressed using it over the last couple of days. Let me know if you guys spend a whole lot of time on retouching photos and if something like this is impressive as quickly as it does things. So stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.